So I was a saladaholic. I, I, became, I became a huge salad eater. The salad bars came out then too. And so, it was healthy. I'm eating healthy. I'm eating healthy. Still knife-like pains in my stomach, digestive issues. Just never, ever, ever went away. And mood swings kept getting worse too as I got older because I was drinking more alcohol. And there was a period of time, and I finally shared this in the other interview that I did. I wanted relief so badly that I even did.
Hi, everyone. Adam with Carnivore Today. I'm so happy that you're with us. And today we have a very special guest, Susan Myers. So, Susan, for those that don't know who Susan is, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Adam, for having me. So my name is Susan Myers, and I'm 60 years old, and I'm a carnivore.
Awesome. Well, you definitely don't look 60 years old and carnivore. Why on earth would you start a carnivore diet?
I started carnivore after years of trying to find help in my digestive issues and depression and anxiety, mood swings, and such. And it all started at a young age. I was young and always having stomach issues every time I eat. Like, I remember a time when I was real little that my father would make me eat a bowl of Wheaties cereal. And I hated it so bad. And, I tell this story a lot, and it always comes out different every time I tell it because you remember different things.
Right.
So, I remember I didn't like it unless he put a lot of sugar on it. But at that age, back in that day, it was the clean your plate club. You had to eat everything. You had to finish it. You couldn't leave the house. You couldn't have this. You couldn't go out and play, whatever it was. So I remember that morning when he made me eat the Wheaties, and I got to school and I ended up getting sick. Knowing what I know now and remembering what happened back then is crazy. So when I was little, I just always had stomach aches. I always had constipation, and all the way up through my adult life, every time I ate, even though it was in the 70s and we had steak, and we ate all the meat too back then, steak and potatoes on Thursday nights, or we had spaghetti and meatballs on a different night. It was always a different night, was a different food. And lunches that we packed were sandwiches, Wonder white bread, bologna and cheese, little Del Monte pudding cups, ring dings. So growing up in like half healthy and half processed food life. And I had a lot of issues. Like I said, stomach ache, constipation, diarrhea, everything. My mother would take me to the doctors. They would say there was nothing wrong. Just give her some Metamucil, Pepto-Bismol, eat more fiber. So my mother would do fruit and salad and more vegetables, green beans, broccoli, whatever. And of course, I didn't like any of it, but gotta eat your fruits and vegetables. Gonna make you stronger and healthier. And that was the message growing up always. And then I loved pizza. Oh, I loved pizza. I used to say, if I could eat only one food every day, it would be pizza. I love pizza. But every time I ate pizza, I got sick. And during the elementary years and junior high years and high school years, I ate a lot of pizza, drank a lot of beer, ate a lot of pasta. None of the doctors would say what you're eating is affecting your condition. And I would have depression and anxiety a lot, mood swings a lot, all through junior high and high school. And never understood it, and always being brought to the doctor. The doctor's like, there's nothing wrong with her. Just feed her this. She's fine. Give her this. She'll be fine. TMI, even enemas that my mom and dad would pick up at the store. Fleet, I think, was the brand of it. And that it was a lot of pain, a lot of physical pain and mental pain. Never, ever thinking, oh, it's what you're eating. It's what you're eating, medication for this, medication for that. And then it was like the late 80s. I'm out of high school, going to college. And I think it's when, I'm pretty sure it was around 88 or 89 that Prozac came out, and antidepressants. And at first everyone thought, oh gosh, you can't do that. There's a better way to get over depression. You can go to therapy, exercise and lift, in which I did. I did the exercising, the figures and fitness classes, they always say the dopamine and the serotonin in your brain's going to get better if you exercise, but they never say change your diet, except, don't eat the donut because of the sugar or whatever.
Right.
Or pizza wasn't considered bad, but, you have to eat more salads. So I was a saladaholic. I became a huge salad eater. The salad bars came out then too. And so, it's healthy. I'm eating healthy. So still knife-like pains in my stomach, digestive issues, just never, ever, ever went away. And mood swings kept getting worse too as I got older, because I was drinking more alcohol. And there was a period of time, and I finally shared this in the other interview that I did. I wanted relief so badly that I even did street drugs. And
wow.
I was grateful I never got addicted. I was at a party and, try doing cocaine. One time it was laced with heroin. I was 27 years old, and there was a couple of years that I was doing that too, to try to feel better in my head, feel better in my body. People are like, try this, try that. I did Fen, which was a diet pill that's supposed to help you keep energized and focused, and it's going to help you lose weight. So, so I was doing prescription drugs, caffeine, alcohol, street drugs. I was willing to try anything to get rid of the pain. No one could understand. Oh, what's the pain about? Just eat more fiber. If I had $1 for every time someone said, just eat more fiber, drink more fluids, it didn't work for me,
Yeah, it's so preposterous to think that, when people say eat more fiber, essentially they're just saying eat more tree bark. How's that going to happen?
Yeah. And you could see now I know, but when I look back, when I look back in hindsight, it's like, oh yeah, it's like this progression of carbohydrates became the main source of our food pyramid. And we hardly ate meat anymore. It was at the bottom. And it never really clicked. And then I'm getting bigger and because I always had a weight issue. Along with the pain was the weight. Therefore the diet pills, the diet exercise, and the getting hooked on caffeine, all of it. Oh, you can get skinny doing this, Slim Fast shakes. You name the diet, I did it. The shakes, the bars, everything. Nothing helped. And my weight would go up and then down and up and then down. It got to a point where I didn't know what to do anymore. And I'm going to I'm going to all these psychiatrists for different drugs. And then I end up being a single mom, and I get pregnant, and I ballooned to the largest weight I ever was. Like I was 205 pounds when I had him. And then during the course of raising him, the first 16 years of his life, I got up to nearly 300 pounds. I wore,
Wow.
I was in a 4X t-shirt and 26 pants. So here I am. I gave up on exercise. I gave up on eating right. But there was a period of time in 93 or 94 when he was born. I had tried this book called The Protein Power by Dr. Michael Eads. And I was feeling good. I was losing weight, and I was actually mentally feeling good. But I made the mistake of telling family and friends, oh, I'm doing protein power. I'm eating all this meat, hamburgers and stuff. And, oh, you can't do that. Dad had a heart attack. You're going to end up like him, you know. Heart disease ran in the family. There was heart disease, aunts, uncles, grandparents, my father. And so that sort of scared me from doing it. Like, I don't want to end up like that. So I stopped. I think I did it for like 2 months. And then my father started really getting sick. So I moved back to my hometown with my son to be there for him. And I'm taking him to all his doctor appointments. But I'm actually hearing what the doctors are saying as if I was the patient in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I was starting to have a light bulb moment. I was going to end up like my dad. I was going to have heart disease. I was going to have my first heart attack at 50 like he did. And I didn't want that to happen. So I started to go on the internet and look at all my symptoms that I've struggled with my whole life: the depression, the anxiety, the constipation, all the digestive issues. And it all said change your nutrition. And while I was scrolling on the internet looking, I saw the Protein Power book by Dr. Michael Eads that I did back in 93, 94, thereabouts. And I was like, yeah, I remember that. I felt good when I did that, but then I didn't. So I went on Barnes and Noble to look for that book, and then it showed other books, and I'm like, oh, what's this paleo solution book? And I found that book. Rob Wolf is the author, and I said, well, why don't I try that one? That looks interesting. And I started reading it, and it changed my life. I applied everything that he said to do. I followed the diet. I saw CrossFit referenced in his book. So I looked up CrossFit, and I'm like, wow, CrossFit. That's like the Biggest Loser workouts on TV, right? I want to do that. That looks like fun. So I did, and I checked it out, and I was like, wow, this is hard. And I was really out of shape, you know. And I remember saying to the coach, I'm like, I don't think I'm in shape enough for this. I have to get in shape first before I come back. And he laughed at me, and he said, no, this is what is going to get you into shape. We just scale you down to your ability that you can do now, and you'll get stronger. And so I thought about it. And he also told me that the number one reason we end up in nursing homes is because we can't squat anymore and get up and off the toilet seat. So that impressed me. So I couldn't walk for a few weeks after that. on-ramp class, and I wasn't going to go back. And so I was like, then I started feeling defeated. Oh, why do you give up? Why do you always give up so quickly? And that's a lot of my mood swing problems and depression, anxiety is I self-deprecate. I have fear of rejection. I can't do that. It's too hard. I talk myself out of everything good in my life. And sometimes I still have a tendency to do that, and I'm still working on it. But so I went back to the CrossFit gym, and that was in 2010 that I started paleo and CrossFit, and my whole life started to change. I lost 125 pounds in a year and a half. I got stronger, healthier, felt great. Wow, this is awesome, right? I'm doing the paleo diet. And also during that time, I didn't mention in 2004, I was diagnosed by a psychiatrist that I had bipolar 2 disorder, along with ADD and ADHD. And I was suffering allergies and getting allergy shots. And so the whole gamut of the medical community in 30 years of being a guinea pig with different antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications. And then they put me on, I never can remember all the names of the bipolar 2 medicines, but gabapentin was one of them. It's like an anti-seizure med. Excuse me, is the sound of my dehumidifier loud?
I don't hear it at all.
Oh, good. You don't hear it. I do. So so the gabapentin they put me on, and I remember walking into work one day and I fell flat on my face on the floor because everything got dizzy and blurry, and I was so afraid to take that again. And they wanted to try lithium, and something about the name of lithium and what I looked up about it really scared me. So I said, no, I'm done. I'm done. I don't think I trust you anymore. I don't want to go on any psych meds anymore. And I went cold turkey off all of them and stopped going to psychiatrists. I felt like they were making me sicker. And I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to pray to God. I'm going to figure this out somehow. And so back to paleo and CrossFit, and I did great for 2 years straight. I ran, started running, and all of this started because I prayed to God at a New Year's Eve party when I saw a picture of me close to 300 pounds and a cigarette one hand and the beer in the other. Because yes, I was a cigarette smoker too. Oh, they really would tell you, all your peers, oh, if you smoke cigarettes, it stops your appetite. It's a good appetite control, so you don't gain weight, and it'll help you feel better with your digestion. That was actually a thing.
Well, so would drinking acid, right?
Yeah, right. And here I am, naive, gullible Susan, believed everything. And so I was smoked for 30 years. So I prayed, and I got an answer the next day in a phone call. Hey, Susan, you want to learn how to run? It was New Year's Day. And I'm like, really? Learn how to run? Yeah, why not? And I looked at the cigarettes, threw them away. And that was that for the cigarettes, except for one time in 2017 when my mom died. For some reason, every year on her anniversary for 3 years, I smoked a pack of cigarettes. Go figure.
Wow.
No rhyme or reason, just did it. I was also still drinking at that time. But so paleo, CrossFit, changing life, running, exercising, all of it, feeling better. But my digestive system wasn't completely better. And that was like 2 years of like perfect strictness and feeling on top of the world. then things started to change, like circumstances in my life where how do I want to say it? I let go. I went back to letting sugar back in my life and junk food back into my life. And I can have pizza again. I'm better now. I can handle it. That mindset that, I tell you, it tricks you. And the cravings came back, and the weight came back. The depression came back. The anxiety came back. Everything came back. And it happened in like a year. And I didn't gain all the way back. I gained like 40 pounds, but I still felt miserable. So the mental problems were back. And so I was not a fun person to be around. And I pushed a lot of people away. I had a lot of trouble my whole life forming good relationships with people because of my mental health and physical pain. And I also know now, with everything I've learned with nutrition, that your stomach and your brain are connected. They're the first two organs that form in the womb, actually, because the nutrients are being fed and from the umbilical cord, from the mom, and the stomach and the brain are connected. And that's why if the stomach's bad, the brain is bad, and vice versa. And it's crazy, all I've learned in my journey. And there's also a lot of anger and depression along the way too, because why don't doctors know this? Why don't they teach us, just eat this way and you'll feel better? And then I fell into the rabbit hole of looking into far back research and, follow the money. Big medical, big pharma, big dairy, big food corporations. They're literally all in business to keep us unhealthy, keep us sick, keep us fat, keep us mentally unwell so that we cannot critically think and educate ourselves. It's all part of a plan. And it all started in 1906. And it's still going on big time today. Because why else are they going to tell us that cow farts are destroying the climate? Right?
Right.
So I am now what the world would call a conspiracy theorist, because I'm finding out truth and I'm spreading it based on my own personal journey. And not because someone else told me. I've discovered this all on my own and before the YouTube videos. And so I got ahead of myself there.
So you were back on paleo, or you did paleo for a while. We're doing good.
Yep.
And then you kind of fell off the wagon a little bit and gained back 40 pounds, and the mental health issues came back. So what happened after that?
So that was on and off. I would go strict paleo and then have too much wine, too much rice, have a pizza, whatever, ice cream. And that went back and forth, on and off, from like 2014 to COVID. And I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, I got to get back on track. I got to get back to where I was in 2010 to 2014, health, thin, strong, focused. And it was during the lockdowns, but I still had to work because I was essential. And I was actually upset that I couldn't stay home and everyone else got to stay home.
Were you in healthcare or were you in taxation?
U.S.
Both of those seem essential.
U.S. Postal Service.
Okay.
Yep. So we were essential. But the package stores got to stay open. And I found out the reason for that. And I think it's bizarre. They didn't want to overwhelm the hospital rooms or the emergency rooms. So by helping people withdraw from alcohol. So we had to not care about the alcoholics anymore and let the package stores stay open during COVID, where we couldn't eat at restaurants. So it was really bizarre. So I found myself going online like I did before with paleo, try to search for some help again to help me get back into the swing of things of feeling better and stronger again. And so I started searching mental health this time, mental health, nutrition and mental health. And what popped up this time was not paleo websites, but ketogenic websites. And so I started to look for a ketogenic nutritionist, and I found one. Her name is Callie Youngstrom, KY Wellness in Canada. And I saw all her videos and articles from her bodybuilding days and how she found ketogenic diet because she had to reverse diet, and bodybuilding, she got sick and didn't feel good. And so I was so impressed by what I read about her and her experience. I hired her, and for 6 months, I learned what ketosis was and how I needed to eat more saturated fat in my diet. But at that time, we were using coconut oil and olive oil and nuts and seeds. And I was eating a lot of salads again, which I did eat a lot of salads with paleo too, nuts and seeds and salads. And, but I was getting into ketosis, and the ketosis is what really gave me more focus and energy than I've ever had mentally. And the depression really was at bay. It's like, wow. I'd never had my brain feel that way in my lifetime, that good. Like I could go 18 hours without eating and still feel energized. I could wake up in the morning and feel energized, not trying to force myself to get out of bed to start the day. I never had that. And it was amazing. But I'm still having digestive issues. I'm still having stomach pain. I'm still having, it's a feeling of like I would describe it as little knives cutting up my stomach inside. Like, what am I eating that's making me feel this bad? I started to eliminating foods. So after I did the whole ketogenic thing, and I told her that I wanted to explore some more different stuff and stay whole foods. But during the time I worked with her, she's the one who also taught me intermittent fasting and intuitive eating. So intuitively knowing when you're truly hungry. And so, and not emotional hunger, basically understanding what real hunger is. So that helped a lot. We've stayed friends to this day, and she's amazing. I live vicariously through her adventures, and she has her own podcast, and I always tell people to interview her too, because she's amazing. She's in public health in Canada, and now in Barbados. She's trying to help people. She's trying to take all that she knows to educate the medical people and the government on a better way. So, which is awesome. So
That's
then,
cool.
so then fast forward a couple of years, it's 2021, and I'm ready to retire because I started to not like what was happening in the world and the government, and I wasn't going to be forced to do anything against my will. And so I retired early. And then it was January of 22. The day I retired, December 31st, I had COVID.
No, wow.
Yeah. So I caught it. I don't know why I caught it. Maybe my immune system was down, but we had avoided it thus far. So I was really, really sick, as everyone who gets it is. And that's when I started watching YouTube videos, because my husband and I were both sick. So we're on the couch. Oh, what are we going to do? We're dying here. Oh, put on YouTube. I'm like, what's YouTube? And he showed me what YouTube was. And I started watching YouTube, and then a lot of silly, stupid stuff, just to, who knows why, because it's all you can do when you're sick with COVID. It's just vegetate, right?
Yeah, cat videos.
Yeah. So when he was napping or sleeping, I would start searching. Oh, maybe they have some keto videos. I'll watch some keto videos. And then I saw things on carnivore videos, and I'm like, what's carnivore? And that's how I found carnivore, was through the YouTube. And so I got hooked, got addicted. Dr. Chinky's Plant Free MD was the first month he started, and I started watching him, and I'm like, oh, who's this gorgeous surgeon with blue eyes? Literally, I was saying that. And
right.
And when he ever said plants are trying to kill you, it was another light bulb moment. And
Right.
so I really dove deep into watching his stuff, and everybody else. Dr. Lisa Wiedemann, from her I learned about how good the sun is for our skin and our eyes, and not to wear sunglasses and not to wear sunscreen. And I also learned about the carb ditch, and how I fell into the carb ditch a few times in carnivore. But I'm grateful that the knowledge that I have from all of them, that I know how to bounce back really quick if I screw up. And I don't ever get the same depression or the same bipolar mood swings or the anxiety anymore. And I pretty much stay as strict as I can. I want to be able to say I'm 100% strict 100% of the time, but it's more like 95% strict 100% of the time.
Right.
I intermittent fast still because I love it. I even was watching Carrie the other day talking about on his channel how 18 hours of energy and focus, and that's what I have. And I just love it. It's a whole new life. And
that's awesome.
I've said this in previous interviews with people, I'm living my best life right now at 60 years old. These last 2.5 years with carnivore, I've met so many people like yourself at meetups and everywhere. I feel like I have a tribe and a community that I can talk to anytime, anywhere, digitally and at meetups. So many people that have common past histories with digestive issues and mental health issues, and all we had to do was eat meat and little to no plants. And it's a game changer in my life. And I mean, like he said in the beginning of the video, I'm 60, but I don't look it. I get that compliment all the time. I'm even selling skincare right now that's all natural to help people.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you found these carnivore videos and Chafee saying plants are trying to kill you, was that inspiration for you to try the carnivore diet? Like, why exactly did you choose to go eating meat only? Because for a lot of people, that seems somewhat extreme.
Well, at that time, I was recovering from COVID, so I was really, really weak. And I just didn't, I wanted to get healthier so bad from that I wanted no digestive or mental issues ever again. And so it motivated me to just want to try something new. Why not? try something new. I was just going to stick to the intuitive ketogenic way of eating. But I figured, well, I'm going to give this carnivore a try. And so I did. It took me till April. That was January, watching all the videos, taking notes. And so I tried it on my own, just eating 2 ribeyes a day. And I liked how it made me feel. I was walking and hiking better. I was lifting more weight. And then I joined a community, a carnivore community, which was good. But for me, the feasting and fasting part of that didn't work. I ended up gaining weight and not feeling so well. And so I wanted to find a different community, and I went into Dr. Keltz's community. And I went into, I won a lifetime, I have a lifetime free membership at Carnivore Diet with Sean Baker. But like Carrie Mann says in his videos, how you get energy and stuff being in carnivore. It's hard for me to want to sit at the computer or watch TV anymore. I want to keep going and living my life and stuff.
Right.
So I kind of back off from being in all the communities because I don't want to sit at a computer for a long period of time, And
That's why we're pulling you in to interview you.
Yeah,
so
right?
we can get the information from you and then share it with everybody.
Exactly. I figure this is the best way to get my information out to people who might listen, because when I do one-on-one with people, they're like, oh, well, that works for you. Everybody's different. So, and I try to help people all the time that you gotta want it. You gotta already be in a state of mind where you're looking for help, that you want to change your life before you're ready to listen and hear something like this. Because all meat diet scares people because they still believe that it is bad for the heart and bad for your health. And you try to tell them that they've been lied to for 30 plus years. Who wants to hear that? It's hard. It was hard for me to accept it. I still get mad about it. It's like how we have been duped and brainwashed to believe. So now I just tell people, whatever your doctors tell you or whatever the government tells you, just do the opposite. You'll get better.
It definitely seems that way for sure.
Well, some people get mad at me like, oh, you need your doctor's advice. I'm like, no, you don't. In fact, I remember back in the 80s, I would do exercise videos and they would say, make sure you get your doctor's okay that before doing this exercise. I'm like, why do I need a doctor's advice before doing an exercise? It's a good thing. So, so now I see the bigger picture, like I said earlier, when I got ahead of myself, that they want to be in control. They want to tell us what we can and cannot do. It's all about profit over healing. It's all follow the money. And during the course of studying and learning about carnivore, keto and carnivore, paleo, keto and carnivore, during all those years, this 10, 15-year period, I found Hippocrates, the first doctor, and he said, heal thyself, physician, and all disease starts in the gut. So that was another light bulb moment. Like, whoa. So I haven't had a primary care doctor or go to a doctor for permission for anything. I don't do mammograms anymore or colonoscopies anymore because I don't think that's the way we prevent disease. I think we just have to change the way we eat, get sunlight on our skin, sleep 8 hours a night, and stay hydrated. It's that simple.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
And
not to say that there's anything wrong, right? Not to say that there's anything wrong if people want to go to the doctor and get things checked or whatever. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. Just eat the right foods. Try to remain as stress-free as you can, get plenty of sunlight, and be happy and healthy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I mean, I still share it. I just people come to me now, I guess you could say, instead of me. Like I used to give unsolicited advice. People, I know how to help you fix that or reverse that. You know, I would jump into the conversation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unsolicited advice falls on deaf ears. So I don't do that anymore. You know,
Yeah,
I want
I learned that. Right. Yeah. I learned that as well. And yeah, and I have to restrain myself and muzzle myself all the time. But yeah, you're right. If you just be an example yourself and,
yeah,
you know, post things that other people have healed and I don't know, just general information, people see it, you know, and then, you know, gradually over time, people will be curious as to, hey, what is this thing that you got going on? Because at that particular moment in their life, they have some sort of an issue that, you know, they want to get resolved and maybe haven't had any success with things like Weight Watchers and Fen and all the other fad diets out there, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, that's exactly right. So what I'll see someone that I haven't heard from or seen in a couple of years, and they'll look at me and they're like, "Oh, wow, you still maintained all that weight loss. You look great. You look younger." Oh, thank you. How did you do it? And I said, the same way I did it 10 years ago when I told you. And they're like, really? That's all you do? Doesn't it get boring? No, not really. Still delicious, still nutritious, still, you know.
If somebody is watching this video and they are having similar issues that you had, you know, either being overweight or having mental health issues, potential addiction issues, and things like that, what would you suggest for them?
If they were having the same problems that I had,
Mm-hmm.
if they came to me, I'll tell them, well, this is how I was, and this is what helped me. And I tell them what I eat in the course of a day. I tell them what I drink. Our friends call us the Watermans because all we drink is water. I finally gave up the sweeteners, the artificial sweeteners.
Mm-hmm.
I just tell them that it only takes 30 days to get rid of the physical cravings for sugar. It takes longer to get rid of the mental cravings for it, you know, the social aspects of it. I tell them how to shop for the food, where to go, you know, baby steps and consistency, you know, right. So small steps produce big gains, you know. I try
Mm-hmm.
to just tell them basic stuff like that. I don't want to overwhelm them with everything that I know.
Right.
Then they'll probably get freaked out.
Right. Absolutely. So you had mentioned skincare products. Can you talk about that?
I just found a Korean skincare that I like a lot that I started using on my face that just it helps repair the skin and I really love it. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go into the details of it on here, but if anybody is interested in finding out more about it, they can reach me on my Facebook or Instagram, and
Okay.
I would be glad to help them with it. It really works. It's a step beyond the beef tallow and pork lard. It actually repairs the skin. It doesn't just moisturize it. And
Mm-hmm.
I have before and after photos. If anyone's interested, they can check it out.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Susan, you know, I really appreciate your time. This is our second go around. We had technical difficulties the first time, and it looks like everything went great this time. So I really appreciate you sharing your story and your journey, and it's so inspiring to hear all the issues that you had for decades and decades, and literally just eating ribeyes and eating an animal-based diet has effectively solved all of your issues and ailments and problems, even the mental health issues, which is absolutely incredible. Prior to me even hearing about this, I would have never thought that was even possible. I really thank you for sharing this time with me and sharing your story.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. I definitely love my ribeyes and eggs, egg yolks on top of my ribeye, melted in warm butter.
Yeah, likewise.